A gorgeous morning here on the Poplar River. Just spectacular sunrise this morning, but the bugs are absolutely insane today. This section of the river has tons of rock, but behind the rock is these vast areas of wetlands, swamps and marshes and fens and bogs, and all the mosquitoes are coming out and popping out of those wetland areas and swarming the campsite here in the morning.
I understand now why Manitoba is known for their mosquitoes. We haven't experienced much of them all trip, and I thought, you know, that wasn't true, but now, after experiencing this morning, I think the saying that Manitoba has a lot of mosquitoes is accurate.
Another big paddle day today, but the goal is to get down towards Weaver Lake, which is the last big, large lake on the Poplar River before it empties into Lake Winnipeg.
We're hoping to make it all the way to the end, which is about a 12-kilometer lake passing. So it'll be a big one, but the winds are supposed to be in our favor today. Only 29-kilometer gusts, which is nothing for us anymore. And yeah, it's a beautiful day, beautiful sunrise, beautiful weather. Just excited to get back on the water and away from these bugs.
The Poplar River holds deep cultural significance. For generations, this land has been sacred to First Nations, who know it by its Ojibwe name, Nigananan, meaning my home. A place of history, tradition, and identity, it remains a vital link to the past. Along its rocky banks, ancient pictograph sites stand as silent storytellers, faded rock art that has endured through time, preserving the wisdom and the spirits of those who came before.
Well, gorgeous morning here. Scenery, like I said a million times, is just astounding. This is probably one of the prettiest rivers I've ever paddled. It's second to the Rio Grande in Texas and Mexico. And we've paddled a lot of cool rivers, but this is just eye candy around every bend. Right now though, we got a nice little C1, C2 little section, and then maybe some bigger rapids below. So yeah, some fun rapids through the rocks. Ooh, whale pool. Yeah, looks good. Nice. Good flow through there too, is deep enough. Hopefully we have a lot of rapids like that, they're just like nice flow. Woo! All right. Big class 3 we're gonna do right here. A lot of volume pumping through here, a lot of water, a couple big holes we want to avoid, but we've got a line that's going to take us around the right. It's going to miss some of the beefier stuff. A lot of quick maneuvering, probably a bunch of bracing, but I think we're going to sail clean down this one. If not, there's a big pool at the bottom. Whew! Let's do it. Hit a hole, you just brace through that baby. It's going to be really fast, all right? Yeah, nice. Get hit. Nice! Well done! Well done! Well done! Well done! Woohoo! We probably could have actually gone through that hole. I definitely smoked something in the stern. Yeah. Yeah. You did great on that. That was perfect.
As we pressed on past cliff-lined shores, breathtaking rapids and falls, and the endless expanse of boreal forest, the significance of this wilderness became unmistakable. This region, known as Pimatuan Aki, or the land that gives life, was designated Canada's 19th World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2018, recognized not only for its breathtaking natural landscapes, but also for its deep cultural significance. It forms part of the ancestral home of the Anishinaabe, an indigenous people who have lived in harmony with the land for generations, sustained by fishing, hunting, and gathering. The site encompasses the traditional territories of 4 Anishinaabe communities, a testament to their enduring connection to the land, its stories, and the traditions that continue to thrive today.
So we're at a point on the river where there's a small creek that shoots off to get towards Weaver Lake. Now, if you're looking at the topo maps, it doesn't look like much. It's probably, you'd think it's just a tiny drainage ditch and nothing to head down. But looking at the satellite maps, I was doing a bit of pre-trip scouting just briefly as I was skimming the area to calculate distances, and it popped out at me because it was so straight. It almost looks like it's a man-made dug channel, as if there was a natural stream that was flowing through here, but it was widened and straightened out. So I'm not sure if it was done by First Nations as a means to bypass a bunch of rapids further downriver, because it does shave off at least 6 or so rapids and about 10 kilometers or so of river travel. So we're gonna take it, get down to Weaver Lake in a little earlier fashion. May bypass a few falls and rapids that would be scenic, but for time and relaxing on Weaver Lake, I think this is going to be a good decision. So instead of doing a bunch of shorter portages, it's just one longer portage, but it's not even that long. It's about 275 meters, give or take, and it looks to be pretty much all over open rock. So this could save us a considerable amount of time. Not bad. So it looks like our theory that this is a portage trail and an old one is true, because this whole open rock face is lined with all these linear sticks. So all these are cut, and what this would facilitate is the First Nations would bring their boats over and they would just drag and roll them over the sticks. So they're not dragging their boats over the rocks, instead it's going to roll over all these sticks. So looking down this ridge, all we can see are all these logs just linearly placed. Look pretty old, like some of them are near rotten in half, really weathered, but you can tell they're made by human activity. Everything's cut. On the side of the forest here, there's pieces of cut wood as well too.
If you're ever unsure that you're in the wrong spot, but you find that sign along the way, you know you're in good shape, which is pretty cool.
Old tarp or teepee circles here too. Quite a few of them actually scattered throughout here. You can tell it was an important spot, or at least was at one point. Really cool piece of history here. Just awesome. There's a distant forest fire burning out there. You can see the smoke just rising on the horizon. Thankfully that is southeast of us, so it's going to be out of our path, but just something to keep an eye on.
So the weather was not wrong. It is supposed to only be 20-kilometer gusts of wind right now on Weaver Lake. However, the lake has no shelter, so the waves are a lot, and the headwind is very strong. We have about 12 kilometers of this we have to suffer through, which will probably take us close to 4 hours. And it's 3:06 now. It's gonna be a late night probably. And it's very sunny, hence the UV shirt with a ball cap and sunglasses, so I don't get heat stroke or wind stroke, if that's a thing, which I think is a thing now that Brad and I have been out here for so long. We've both gotten sick because of the wind. So here we go. Big old lake, windy day, classic, little north.
Oh my God. Oh, a bunch of big ones. I'm just gonna slow it down. We're just gonna coast over them. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Nice. Well, we're getting to that point. Albeit very slowly. Oh man. It's so worse out here. This is definitely not 27 kilometer gust, 17 sustained. Wind's got to be like 35 kph sustained. No, it's not 15. It's like jacket is just like billowing in the wind. I'm just hoping once we get to that far shore, it gets a little better. This bay, I bet you, is just whipping up. Okay, we got it. It'll take a bit for sure. Well, we finally made it to camp here on Weaver Lake. Man, it was a good push to get here. Some of the wind and waves were just absolutely crazy crossing some of those bays. At one point we had like 3-foot swells we were going through, and the boat was just crashing through the troughs. We've been through big swells before. The difficulty here was that the period, so the distance between the waves, was way too tight. So as you come through one wave, you're smashing through another wave. And the winds were definitely stronger than we got on our satellite forecast here. It's calling for like 15 kilometers, maybe a gust up to 27, but I would say at times it was sustained over 40 kph. But we wanted to get down to the far end of Weaver Lake because that same satellite forecast is calling for winds sustained over 50 kilometers the next day. So down here on the west end of Weaver Lake, we're going to be staying here for 2 nights actually, because we're going to have a well-deserved rest day. After 12 days of hard travel through the Little North, we're going to relax, let the muscles rejuvenate, and just enjoy the sights and sounds, because this is an absolutely gorgeous location right here. There's the possibility that on Lake Winnipeg we'll have to deal with some windbound days, but we'll deal with that in a couple days. I've allocated about 6 days to go 160k, so that's an average of 30k a day. But if the winds are favorable coming from the north, we could easily do well more than that. Some days we might not do nearly as much. We'll see. It's a bit of a gamble, but the muscles are tired, the bodies are tired at this point in time. This trip would have been completely a different trip if the winds weren't hounding the entire time. And I think that's been the real big crux of this trip, is just trying to push through the wind. If we took a windbound day, when the boat slowed its progress and the mussels screamed and the waves were too much, we would probably be about 150k back from where we were, and we'd probably need to spend 40-50 days traveling through this region. We just don't have that time, unfortunately. As much as I'd like to take that time, we just don't have it. So we got to push, but now we get to relax. So it's the reward for all the struggles we've had through here. So we'll spend 2 days here to enjoy, relax, recuperate, and then we'll face the final stretch of the Poplar and then out to Lake Winnipeg and see what challenges she has in store for us.
This is a crowd pleaser. I probably eat this almost every day on this trip. It's headwind fuel.
That's exactly what it is.
Mac and cheese with beef, there's headwind fuel. Like, oh, you're gonna face 40-kilometer gusts? Mac and cheese at the end of the day.
Exactly.
This lake on the map didn't look that exciting, but then you get here and it's like, what the heck?
A little bit of a pain to cross, but worth it. River safe.
This still reminds me of Jordan Bay though. Where else do you get flat rock like that?
With like, almost like big lake veg. Kind of thing. Like the vegetation.
Oh yeah.
Windswept pines.
That's true. I can't get over the jackpine hill. Like, they remind me a lot of like windswept white pines.
So today is rest day. We picked a good day for it. It's windy. We knew it was going to be a windy day too, but it's perfect to not be on the water, let our muscles recover a little bit before we face more winds and waves, especially out on Lake Winnipeg. But with rest day, we got lots of time, and today that means we're going to be doing a lot of baking. So first up, I've got some just add water tea biscuit mix, picked a few little blueberries, and I've also got some dehydrated honey powder that we'll use to make some honey and drizzle on top too. So we're gonna bake this up in the reflector oven over the fire. Should be a delicious sort of brunch meal as we get blasted here by the wind and sun on this gorgeous island paradise here. Pretty simple, 3 cups of mix to 1 cup of water. And then we're gonna just whisk it for about a minute. Add in a few fresh blueberries here. Then I'm just gonna butter our baking trays here. Now add our dough. Now load it in the reflector oven. We'll bake it.
We're here for our second edition of Backcountry Cocktails. Today is rest day, which means brunch day, which means Caesar time. This edition of Backcountry Cocktails is not as complicated as some of our other concoctions we've made in the past. However, we did that intentionally because we're here for 3 weeks. We have to be careful about how much we pack, so the cocktail itself is a little bit more simple to put together. What we have is something called a Caesar pleaser, and all you need to do is add water and alcohol. So I just put it in one of our empty Nalgenes we have. This is our cocktail shaker Nalgene. It makes an entire liter, so Brad and I can have a couple cups of our beautiful Caesar. You just empty into the Nalgene, trying not to spill the precious powder. And then you add a healthy amount of vodka. Once you've added your alcohol, you just have to fill the rest of the Nalgene with water. And then you just give it a really vigorous shake. You let it sit for a little bit just to let it settle. And while it's sitting, we have dehydrated lemons and limes. I always like to add lime juice to our Caesars at home, so I'm gonna use dehydrated limes. Now that it's settled, all you have to do is pour the drink. And you have yourself a perfect brunch cocktail to enjoy on rest day.
Well, we're rested up after a nice long rest day here. Just lounged around, did some reading, did some baking, took in the sights, but the wind was hammering all day, so glad we weren't on the water because the swells were just crashing into shore there. And even as the evening's wearing on, the wind's picking up again, so no surprise, never stops blowing up here. Head to bed now a little early, but we have about 9 days of travel still ahead of us, so make sure we're well rested because we're definitely going to be facing more wind and waves as the journey through the Little North continues. Looking forward to the next chapter of it. Rest day is always kind of a midway point of the trip in many senses, both mentally and physically as well, so it's nice to be recharged, rested, and relaxed and ready to go tomorrow. A couple more days on the river and out to Lake Winnipeg. Excited to see what the Little North has in store for us. Morning of day 14, 2 weeks in. It's hard to believe that time's gone by so fast actually. If I lost track of the dates, I have no idea what actual day it is beyond that being day 14 out here. You don't know what day of the week. Is it a work day? Did I have things to do at home? This is the best part of the trip when everything just melds into each other now. I mean, this is what you do. You wake up in the morning, you paddle, and you face what nature has in store for you for that day. Feeling good and rested now. A rest day was a good day of relaxation and recharging the batteries here. So we're gonna head down the river, try to put some kilometers behind us today. Hopefully the winds are favorable, but they've been blowing all night and blowing all morning. So have our doubts here. We've got a little bit of Weaver Lake left and then we're back on the Poplar River where hopefully it's a little more sheltered.
A well-earned rest day was a welcome change of pace after weeks of battling relentless headwinds.
Now refreshed and restored, we were eager to press on, ready to uncover more of the Poplar River's untamed beauty. The river, ever-changing and unpredictable, promised new challenges and discoveries.
Making our way down the Poplar River, scenery's changed a bit. River's definitely getting wider, we're getting more deciduous trees, poplars, aptly named. Just got a series of small little rapids and falls, but the good news is from here on in, all of them have good trails from Poplar River First Nation. So no more bushwhacking, which is pretty awesome. We've got guaranteed portages from here to Lake Winnipeg. So thank you, Poplar River, making our journey a little easier here. So behind me here is a boat ladder which the First Nations use to drag their loaded boats around all the falls and rapids on the Poplar River. With a couple people, you can easily drag your boat over. You don't have to take anything out of it. Unfortunately for us, with just the two of us in the loaded canoe, it's still too heavy to try to lift up and over these obstacles. So we're just gonna portage along beside it. Just a little easier for us. But if we had a team of a couple people, no problem. We could easily just grab it and roll it over the logs here, much like you would over a beaver dam. But it does make for a great unloading platform for us. It's actually faster for me to portage this.
Super cool and really helpful. The only problem is when they end in a class 2+3 rapid. Like, how do they get up that?
Portage done, and now we get to run something fun at the end. Nothing too crazy, but a wavy class 2. Just keep an eye out for any hidden boulders, because there's always a few in these rapids. All right. Have some fun. Nice. Woo! Whoa, that got a lot of water right there. Yeah, that we came down like those waves are bigger than they looked on the shore.
Between the rushing rapids, calm stretches of water invite us to glide effortlessly, our paddles dipping into the glassy surface. These moments of stillness offer balance, a pause before the next surge of whitewater, a chance to soak in the beauty of the Little North, and a rare moment to breathe, reflect, and embrace the quiet rhythm of the river.
Fast little rapid here. There's a big wall shot at the end that we don't want to hit, so we're just gonna try to sneak down it and exit the rapid a little early. Should be really fast. Well done. Nice. That was good. Big rivers like the Poplar tend to have multiple channels when you're running whitewater. On river left, there's a massive class 4 hole. Probably could either skirt it or maybe punch through it, but there's a good chance that if we don't get our line right on that, we're going for a swim. But the good news is there is a sneak safety line on river right. It's about a class 2, maybe bump and grind through some of the boulders, and then we get to ride the wave train out at the end. Okay, so we can work our way slow, because look at it, it's just like a bunch of class 1 ripples here. Compared to the far side, you can see that's where all the water's going. We don't want to go that way right now. It's still going to be a fun run, but we're taking the safer route. On a big long trip like this, as much as we like to hit some big beefy water, we also want to be safe and sound, because we still got a lot of paddling ahead of us. We don't want to damage the boat or damage us or lose any equipment. It's not always about having the most thrill-seeking line on a big trip like this. It's about getting to your destination safely. Okay, get ready to draw this over, okay? Okay, we're entering the wave train. How's the river feel, Leah?
The river feels pretty good. It's not as hard as those big lakes, but there's definitely still the wind impact is very real.
You wind? Yeah, wind is still howling. It just doesn't stop. I sound like a broken record. But so does the wind.
We're gonna be off the river by end of day tomorrow, most likely, and we'll be entering Lake Winnipeg, and it's gonna feel weird to be off the river. We've been on it for, I don't know, 10 days probably. Man, it's gorgeous in here.
Well, great day on the river. Made it to a really nice campsite here. Actually, wasn't much in the way of campsites around for the last little while, so thankfully this nice chunk of rock just popped out of this nice little piece of current. Got here early enough, but we still did a lot of kilometers today. Ran some great rapids. Just a good day. Felt rested up after a rest day, even though we had some crushing headwinds out there to slow our progress. Got a bit of time, so hopefully I'll catch a walleye. We'll see. Nice piece of current here with some eddies that I'll try casting my lures into.
We're at a beautiful site. Brad's trying to catch me some dinner because I don't want some of our dehydrated meals that I've managed to burn on the dehydrator. So hopefully he's successful at catching me some walleye. Go catch us some dinner, babe.
Right, so no fish. I fished for like an hour, hour and a half. Like one bite, that's it. So instead, pass the dinner. It's gonna be banger though.
I mean, it's kind of sad, but
Well, it's sad because it's not fish.
it's not fish.
Whatever.
You tried. You gave it a solid A-.
I tried so many different lures. I tried so many different areas. We're still good though. It'll hit the spot.
It'll go down. Keep us warm.
Good morning. It's our final morning here on the Poplar River. It's hard to believe we've been paddling for about a week and a half now on the river system proper, but today we'll actually be following it out to Lake Winnipeg. So just over a week and a half ago we were paddling through streams barely big enough for our canoe, and now we'll be out at one of the biggest lakes in Canada, facing waves and wind as that heavy surf pounds against that shore. The wind is definitely a concern because it hasn't stopped. It just doesn't stop. You know, normally when you're out in the big lakes, you paddle when it's calm, but we just haven't had any calm. So we might be paddling in the middle of the night, but even at that, the wind's been howling and rocking against the tent fly all night long some of these nights. So I don't know how it's gonna go. It's a bit of a cause for concern, to be honest. But given the near constant winds, I don't know. We'll see. I feel like we need a month to get down that lake. It's a gray and rainy morning. You know what the good news is? There's like no wind. So honestly, I'll take getting soaked by rain showers all day long over pushing through heavy winds, especially as we approach Lake Winnipeg. Honestly, I'd love it if it was rained like this for 3 days straight. And we can make some good distance behind us, kind of alleviate some of those fears of being windbound for weeks on Lake Winnipeg. Nice progress down to the First Nation community of Poplar River today, and then out to the mouth of the Poplar River, and Lake Winnipeg beyond. Alright, set of rapids here in the rain, no less. It's kind of a cluster of a couple of small rapids put into one. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the top section right here. And we're gonna eddy out down there because I can see more rapids beyond. It kind of looks pretty good from here, but there might be a ledge. So I'm not sure if there's a sneak line or if we're gonna have to lift over, do a bit of a portage, and then it goes around a blind corner so we can't see. So run the top at least, and then see what's down below. Oh, windy fun rapid time. Yeah, the chilly chill shakes. Yeah, draw it over a bit more, faster, faster. Left, 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 left. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Keep drawing, keep drawing, keep drawing. Perfect. Good, good, good. Draw me over, draw me over. Yep, 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 yep. Good, 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 good. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Nice. Well done. That goes a lot of water. This one's a little trickier because there's a slight wall shot here, which means the current's coming in from an angle and it's going to be pushing against the rock. So Leah and I are going to have to just miss it, and then we should be able to ride a wave train all the way out. So see how she goes here. Yeah, watch the outwash, watch the outwash. Now left, 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 left. Okay, we're actually beached. So you can get out. We went too much into the outwash.
I couldn't get it over.
It's okay, it's okay. I'm gonna bring it over here where it's calmer. Ready? Now. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna get ready. We're in a bit of an eddy here, okay? So just compose yourself, no need to panic. Okay, I'm good. Okay. Okay. End of the run, punch center, okay? Yeah, there you go. Right, so that wasn't the smoothest, but we got through there no problem. We weren't getting over to our lines. We just made the split-second decision to kind of beach it before trying to really get ourselves broadside on the edge of it. That the current was at least gentler right on the rock so that we could kind of line over it and get back into the rapid. But, you know, stay calm, stay cool, get yourself out of a situation like that. Don't panic. Do a quick analysis and use the tools you have at your disposal and the skills to get out of there. So that's how it goes sometimes running whitewater. It doesn't always go perfect. Can't beat yourself up over it. On to the next set.
It's bittersweet watching the river kind of come to an end right now. It's been an incredible journey so far, but I know the next chapter in our trip is going to be just as exciting.
We're going to be at Lake Winnipeg. It's kind of a big milestone of this trip and one of the main reasons why we chose this river to do, so that we could have that coastal experience.
So the little north doesn't disappoint, and hopefully she rewards us with some calmer waters on the big lake.
Just in the community of Poplar River First Nation. We just stopped at the northern store to stock up on supplies, but This is the end of the Poplar River for us, and out there is Lake Winnipeg. The storm's blowing in, so I'm going to make this brief because it's been intermittent showers all day here, and when the storms do come in, the winds really whip up.
I'm sad that the river's over. It's so weird. But the entire time we've been on the river, we've been talking about getting to Lake Winnipeg, and now it's finally happening. So it feels almost like a different trip. But today's been awesome. It's been pouring rain the entire day, which has meant not nearly as bad winds, and we're about to get more rain, which is going to bring in some wind, and then hopefully it'll be calm and we can just soar down the coast as far as we possibly can today. And then we're going to have burgers and pop and potato chips. It's going to be amazing. Brad's going to have bacon. It's very exciting.
We got a lot of yummy food. Really neat to have a First Nation community at the end of the river portion of our trip because we still have a week of travel on Lake Winnipeg. So got a few tasty treats and we're going to be enjoying them hopefully on a nice beach tonight out in Lake Winnipeg if these storms hold off. Lake Winnipeg, this is amazing. Like, we fought through headwinds for days and we enter Lake Winnipeg and we have a tailwind and it's pretty calm out here. I mean, we've been dodging some heavy rain here and there, but that's nothing. This is great. It's just like all our struggles over the last 2 weeks have been rewarded. It's so quiet out here except for the sound of the waves and the birds. Unreal. Really cool. Hey, it's a spoke too soon. It's starting to pick up. Didn't take long. Bit of the wind shift. Now it's coming from the west. There's storms on the horizon, so that's probably what's driving these in. There's a couple big waves like that we gotta contend with, but we're gonna try to find some shelter amongst these island chain up here. Winnipeg changes fast. Heads up. Here comes the big one. Wind's picking up. I mean, it is late day. I can't believe how fast it changed. I mean, like I said, we're doing fine in this stuff. It's just to muscle our way all the way up to that point through this is going to be tricky. There's a couple big rollers that came in too. Pushed us back off our trajectory a bit, but oh yeah, we're only like 500 meters up. Well, I made it to camp. Beautiful Lake Winnipeg. Man, she turned on a dime. It was calm, easy paddling, and then within 10 minutes the waves really picked up. You could see the wall of wind starting to billow. Had the eyes set for a couple different possible landings off in the distance, and we kind of made a beeline towards this nice little island. Really reminds us of Georgian Bay on Lake Huron with this glacially sculpted smooth rock with stunted pines kind of growing on them. But the winds are something else. They haven't stopped. They won't stop. The forecast is saying they're going to be blowing all night long and into tomorrow. Gusts up to 40 something kilometers an hour. So we might be windbound. We'll see. But the good news is we have lots of good food. We stopped at the Northern Mart in Poplar River and we picked up burgers, bacon, chips, and pop. And basically all the bad stuff that we've been dreaming about and talking about in the boat for hours on end over the last couple weeks. We've just been working so hard, it seems, in the headwind that we're burning so many calories. Leah and I have both lost quite a bit of weight and the muscles are just screaming for extra calories. So we're going to indulge tonight. We've got a lot of really good food. Day 15, having fresh burgers and bacon is just a bit of a mind boggler to me, but it's going to be worth it. So tasty. I'm looking forward to this. First, let's have a cheers for actual pop. Oh. That is good. Real good.
Double layered with a cheese layer in between, some fresh onion, non-stale bread, and a buffalo ranch sauce on day 15.
He's good. Break him. My God, that is just outstanding. Just so greasy and fatty and like every single thing I craved.
Calories. Sweet, sweet calories.
Cold. It's literally like diner food.
It's better than diner food.
Fueled by the rare treat of a fresh, hearty meal so far into our adventure, we savored our first evening on Lake Winnipeg. The setting couldn't have been more perfect. Perched on a rocky island surrounded by vast waters, we watched the horizon stretch endlessly before us. As the sky deepened into twilight, the lake reflected the shifting hues of dusk, a silent witness to the journey ahead.
So, wind is still howling. It's later in the evening as the sun is going down here. We set an alarm for 3 tomorrow because it's probably going to be bad tomorrow as well too. I think the only way we're going to make some distance, unless we have a nice calm day, is to get up early, paddle, and get to our site by like noon at the latest, and then sleep a little bit more, chill and relax. Good news is that means we have a lot of time at our sites, but yeah, bad news is we gotta get up super early. So yeah, crazy wind and waves out there is just insanity right now, and the forecast is saying that it's not going to stop. So, you know, we'll see. If it stops, it stops. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Set the alarm for 3. If it's better than what it is right now, we'll go for a paddle, see how far we go, and if not, we'll just roll back into bed, see if it's a windbound day or not. Well, we did get up at 3 a.m. Actually, I got up at 1 a.m. and the winds were insane. It had to be like 70 km/h sustained. The whole tent felt like it was gonna fall off. So, didn't get on the water early in the morning. The storm raged all night into the morning here. It's closer to 11 o'clock right now in the morning. We're gonna rest up a bit. We slept in this morning as the wind was howling. Rest, relax, recuperate a little bit, and then push when we can. It's already looking a little better out there, so hopefully that trend continues so we can get on the water later today. If not, great spot to be windbound. So just looking over the maps today and the downtime we have, just to see where we can possibly make camp if we do have a couple hours of paddling, but also some tentative spots for a float plane extraction if we're stuck out here. Now we still have 7 days, although today is kind of not really going to be looking like much of a paddle, so maybe closer to 6 days to get down the coast. Now it's 160K to the original plan takeout of Blood Vein. That's not gonna work. We have the option of taking out at Barons River, which is much closer. I've done some math on it. It looks to be about 18 hours of total paddling. So if we get a window of 18 hours over 6 days, we can definitely make it down to the community of Barons River. There's road access there. I've been talking with Gold Seekers Outfitting as a potential pickup point there instead of at Blood Vein, but then also looking at extraction via float plane. But of course they need a sheltered bay. A lot of Lake Winnipeg is quite open and exposed. Do you have a decent amount of extra food available too, should we need it? Just stuff to consider. And at this point in time, I'm really not concerned given the amount of time we have. Obviously the wind's been a big factor this trip, but it has shown that it does break at times. So I have full confidence we'll be able to make it down the coast.
I'm wondering if wherever it has these little wetland looking marks, whether it's gonna be scrub or a big giant safety beach for an emergency. That's where I get a little nervous. So we'll try to get to, there's one emergency nice beach. I'm sure it's beautiful. But then I see like all of this, I'm like, what's that like? Probably scrub. Scrub.
A gale warning and small craft advisory remained in effect as powerful winds and relentless waves battered the shoreline.
This was everything we had feared about Lake Winnipeg, an unforgiving force that threatened to hold us in its grip. The only road-accessible extraction point lay over 100 kilometers away, a distance that felt worlds away given the circumstances.
With each passing hour, uncertainty grew. The waiting became its own kind of test, forcing us to confront the limits of patience and endurance as our minds raced along with the winds.
Safe passage of Lake Winnipeg.
Safe passage with ease.
With safe passage with ease, we offer this tobacco smoke.
Keep us safe in this passage. I feel like Lake Winnipeg has many moods. Hopefully the tobacco will be a nice offering. Usually we offer tobacco at the beginning of a trip, and we've been going through all this traditional territory and we haven't had any tobacco, and then it kind of hit us when we were at the end of the river. Oh my god, we have cigars with nice tobacco. We should probably offer some. And so we did. Hopefully our luck will change.